Right now, a winter storm making its way into southern Wisconsin. What you need to know as you prepare for our first warn alert day.
Plus, breaking tonight, we're learning new details about a homicide in Beloit that left one woman dead, including the suspect's connection to the victim.
And the spring primary election is in full swing. We'll break down why this election is so important. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. The roads are fine now, but that is going to change for most southern Wisconsin communities tomorrow morning. A major winter storm is headed our way.
It could bring heavy snow, freezing rain, and ice to parts of southern Wisconsin. More than a dozen schools are already closed tomorrow, while others are switching to virtual learning, including the Middleton Cross Plains School District.
And of course, you can head to channel3000.com right now to see what your child's school is planning.
Chief Meteorologist Gary Canolti joins us now from the weather patio. It's a very busy day in the weather office. He has more on the upcoming alert days. Gary?
Yeah, this is a storm you just don't want to mess with. You want to make sure you get your supplies now, make sure that you're prepared to go, and if you have to travel tomorrow, be very, very careful. Let's start out by taking a look at the first warned weather alert days that we have in the forecast, basically from tonight through Thursday. This is mainly for snow north of Dane County, a mix of rain, freezing rain and snow in and around Dane County, and more freezing rain to the south of Dane County. That could result in heavy snow accumulations north of Dane County, heavy ice accumulations south of Dane County, and a mix through the Madison metro area. Ice storm warnings in effect south of Dane County. Winter storm warnings from Dane County northward from tomorrow morning all the way through parts of the day on Thursday. You can see those ice storm warnings out to the west, and winter storm warnings pretty much for most of the Midwest. Doppler track shows the first surge of precipitation this evening, mainly in the form of snow, and any snow accumulations will probably be north of Madison and Dane County. This first band will come on through, and there'll be persistent snows farther to the north. You can see that on 6-hour future track radar. So any snow accumulations of a couple of inches are more likely there, but that's just the first round. Current temperatures are below freezing now, although Janesville right at freezing, and these temperatures will be critical in the precipitation type. Right now across Dane County, it's 30 in Middleton, 29 in Stoughton, and 28 degrees in Deerfield. Look for mostly cloudy skies, some light snow or flurries this evening. The snow more prevalent farther to the north, just flurries south of Madison. Temperatures holding nearly steady in the upper 20s, but later on I'll time out what types of precipitation we're expecting and how much snow and how much ice we're expecting from this storm through Thursday.
All right, Gary, thank you. Stay up to date on the weather in your area with the First Warn Forecast Weather app. It has all the information you need: school closings, hourly forecasts, road conditions, and the latest radar. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Just search WISC Weather. Breaking this afternoon out of Beloit, police have arrested Tyrone Young in what is now a suspected domestic violence homicide yesterday morning.
The family has identified the victim to us, 29-year-old Stefania Busar. Young is suspected of killing her, and we are uncovering new details tonight of how she tried to protect herself and her children before she died. Andrew Banstra has more. Andrew?
We're now learning that on January 18th of this year, a month before Stefania B. Busar was murdered, or allegedly murdered, she filed the restraining order against Tyrone Young in the Dane County judge system. Now, both were originally Madison natives. Young recently moved to Beloit. In the restraining order, she said that Young was harassing her. He was asking for help with his mental health and even threatened to take his own life if she didn't help. He also tried to break into her home. Now, the restraining order was dismissed. The judge presiding over the case, Judge White, told News 3 Now that neither party arrived in court on the day leading to the dismissal. And today I talked with her sister.
He only could give me so much information, and he basically indicated that there was an incident with B, and that she died. I literally just felt my heart just fall out of my body. Like I just felt like there was a big hole missing in my body, and I just totally lost it.
B's family tells us they were expecting the victim to come home with her 5 kids for a taco night with their family, but when she never showed up, that led to the call with the police. At 6, we'll lay out all the details from this suspected homicide, including the restraining order and how you can help the family.
Andrew, thank you. And you can follow along as we learn more about this story at channel3000.com and on our News 3 Now app. It is free right now in your app store. Right now, voters are heading to the polls for the spring primary election. You still have a few more hours if you'd like to cast your vote.
The polls are open until 8 o'clock tonight. This election will determine who will be on the ballot for the April 4th election. We have live team coverage on this election night, which will continue into the evening until all of the votes are tallied. Our political reporter Will Keneally is in Waukesha County and Arman Rahman is in Milwaukee, live at the watch parties of the state Supreme Court candidates. It's a race that has garnered national attention. Dan Kelly and Jennifer Doro are running as conservatives. Janet Protasewicz and Everett Mitchell represent the liberal side of the race. The two candidates who receive the top votes will advance onto the April ballot. Will is watching the conservative side of the race.
And he joins us from the Dan Kelly campaign watch party. And Will, what are we seeing at this hour?
Well, as you can imagine, it's pretty quiet here as polls are still open for the next few hours in Wisconsin. But tonight we're expecting to see a hotly contested conservative primary on the Supreme Court race here. We don't have any public polling data available for this race. It's kind of one of those off-year elections. But we do see both conservative candidates fighting over a few key conservative endorsements. So if we take a look, for example, at the sitting Supreme Court justices, they're split essentially. Justice Pat Rogansack, the retiring judge whose seat is on the ballot this spring, has endorsed Jennifer Doro in the primary, while Justice Rebecca Bradley is backing Dan Kelly in the race. And so for Kelly, he's looking to reclaim a seat that he lost in 2020 to now Justice Jill Karofsky. And so we might see from him tonight, him tout up some of the decisions that he's written so far while on the bench, kind of touting his conservative credentials in that race. But throughout the night, we'll have full coverage of both conservatives running in this primary. But now we'll take a look at the liberal side. We have our own Arman Rahman in Milwaukee tonight with Janet Protasewicz.
Yeah, well, everything's being set up here at the Cooperage here in Milwaukee for what is set to be a key race for Dane County Judge Everett Mitchell and Milwaukee Judge Janet Protasewicz, since conservatives have held the state's high court for the past 14 years. And tonight's vote count could also be a bit of an indication for things in April. If the liberal and conservative winners tonight get a close number of votes, then that'll mean a pretty close race down the line. But of course, if one side gets higher vote counts by the end of tonight, it could be an uphill battle for the other side come April. Stay with us here in Milwaukee tonight for the latest updates. For now, I'll send it back to Eric and Susan live in the studio.
All right, Armand, Will, thank you. You can find everything you need to know about the election at channel3000.com. Look for our Campaign 2023 section on the homepage just below the Plan My Day forecast, and we have compiled all of the races that we're following as well as everything you need to know if you'd like to make your choice at the polls, including all the interviews we've done with Madison's mayoral candidates leading right up to today.
Usually a trip to the polls on Election Day is pretty straightforward. However, after a threat impacted the area around a polling location in Brooklyn, election officials made some changes to make sure that people could cast their ballots. Our Catherine Merck explains what happened in southern Dane County.
We were out, we had a doctor's appointment for our son this morning, and on the way out, we noticed all the commotion going on here in town.
That commotion came from a police response to a shots fired call outside a polling location on North Rutland Avenue in Brooklyn. TJ Larson and his wife were just two of those voters this incident impacted.
I was looking up to kind of learn more about what was going on and noticed that there was something about the polling location potentially being changed.
TJ and his wife ended up voting down the street on Windy Lane. Election officials in Brooklyn and in the county thought it would be the safest to change locations for voters.
I felt with the presence of the police and the difficulty getting to the polling place, because then there was only one entrance to get to the polling place, I felt it was better to move.
The incident was unrelated to the polling place. The shots fired call came from a dispute with neighbors about a tree. Being removed from the incident made it easy for polling staff to pack up and move down the street.
It moved really swiftly. We were within a half an hour. We were packed up and back down here and set up ready to go.
Despite this disruption, voters in Brooklyn should still be able to get out and vote with a couple of adjustments.
Come down and vote.
We are in a good location. It's easy to get to, so please come down here and vote.
Because of the disruption, the Brooklyn polling location petitioned the court to stay open an hour and a half later tonight. A 75-year-old Brooklyn man was arrested about 2.5 hours later in Oregon in connection with this incident.
New today, the Wisconsin Coalition for Safe Roads agrees with Governor Tony Evers in his effort to restore driver's licenses for all. Today, the coalition complimented the governor for what it calls his steadfast commitment to pursuing the long overdue move to restore all licenses. They also discussed the urgency of this effort to prevent immigrant workers from fearing deportation over routine traffic stops.
This is a sound economic policy that helps build stronger communities, public safety by keeping our roads safer, keeping families together, and helps stabilize Wisconsin's economy.
Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway and Police Chief Sean Barnes were also at the press conference. They both said they support the measure as a matter of public safety. Gary has the latest on this upcoming alert weather next at 5.
Plus, President Biden is reaffirming U.S. support for Ukraine after a major announcement from Russian President Vladimir Putin. We'll have details coming up. And after nearly 70 years in business, a Madison bakery will soon be up for sale. We'll have details coming up tonight at 6.
And a brutal day on Wall Street. The Dow falling almost 700 points. The Nasdaq loses 295. Worst day for the S&P since December, down almost 82. And we'll be right back.
This President's Day, we're throwing a 5-star celebration at Bob's Discount Furniture, making it super easy to shop my top-rated products. I've got on-trend styles, unbeatable prices, thousands of highly rated and reviewed pieces ready to ship now. So this President's Day, ditch the gimmicks and phony sales because the stars have aligned at Bob's. The reviews are in. Shop Bob's for style, value, and quality.
Don't delay. The Brothers Maine President's Day sale is happening now. Shop local and save with tremendous deals on Whirlpool, KitchenAid, Maytag, and Amana appliances. We have the area's largest selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. Feel like family. Brothers Maine.
The sun has risen, the pride has returned, and the time has come to join the circle of life at the Lion King.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
This year, say yes.
I couldn't be more thrilled with my results. I'm over the moon happy. Look at that waist.
Yes to confidence.
I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
Yes to a new shape.
These are my results. I am so happy.
Yes to a new you.
I'm Dr. Elena Vega. Imagine you could remove this much fat from multiple areas all at one time.
Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good.
I have the flattest tummy that I've had in 25 years.
I'm able to wear things that I never thought I would wear again.
I can wear a little black dress. I feel sexy.
Find out how you can get $250 off with our New Year exclusive offer. Call 1-800-993-0752 or go to sonobello.com.
Lean back and save big this winter at the Century House. Right now, save hundreds going from one grade of stressless leather to a superior grade for free. Or save $300 and get a free battery when you purchase any stressless mic or stressless max motorized recliner or any stressless classic power recliner. Don't miss out. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
A major winter storm will bring a snowstorm for areas north of Madison, an ice storm to the south of Madison, leave Madison and Dane County with a combination of both snow and freezing.
Then team coverage of the Supreme Court primary, what the candidates expect for results tonight at 6.
For 20% of its victims, the fallout from concussion can last months or years.
It affects their work, their family life. It affects everything.
News 3 Now, Charlotte Deleste shares her personal battle with the invisible injury. Thursday at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
In Poland today, President Biden reaffirmed U.S. support for Ukraine nearly a year after Russia's invasion of that country. The address came shortly after Russian President Vladimir Putin announced Moscow would suspend its participation in a nuclear arms control pact with the U.S. The New START treaty was the last major nuclear arms agreement between the two countries.
There should be no doubt. Our support for Ukraine will not waver. NATO will not be divided, and we will not tire.
The elite of the West do not conceal their ambitions, which is to strategically defeat Russia, finish us off once and for all.
After Russia's announcement, NATO's Secretary General said it was clear Russia was preparing for more war. NATO is also becoming increasingly concerned about China's support for the Kremlin. China's top diplomat is set to meet with Russia's foreign minister tomorrow.
The Supreme Court is hearing back-to-back oral arguments this week in two pivotal cases that could reshape online speech and content moderation. Chris Nguyen has more on the legal battle ahead and how it could impact you.
Court, the battle over free expression online is coming to a head.
The way the internet works today may fundamentally change as a result of what the Supreme Court decides.
This week, two cases are being heard, and the outcomes could determine whether tech platforms and social media companies can be sued for recommending content to their users or for supporting acts of international terrorism by hosting terrorist content.
We have this very rare instance where a lot of people in D.C. agree that something needs to be done. They haven't been able to meet that point where they can actually agree on the answer.
At the heart of it all, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, a 27-year-old federal law that protects websites like Google, Twitter, and others from lawsuits over what their users post online. Some Democrats, including President Joe Biden, say it prevents tech giants from being held accountable for spreading misinformation and hate speech. But many Republicans allege that it gives big tech a license to censor conservative viewpoints.
The Supreme Court's ruling exposes how vulnerable the internet is to regulatory interventions and how at risk we are of being faced with a very different internet.
Some experts question if the justices are equipped to make a sound decision, partly because they don't use social media enough to fully understand it.
It's a structural problem with Supreme Court that when they make legislative-like decisions, they don't have the expertise the legislature has, and they don't hear from all the people that might be affected.
Potentially adding to an uncertain playbook over how to regulate online speech. In Washington, I'm Chris Nguyen reporting.
And rulings in both cases are expected by the end of June. Weather alert days expect to bring rain, ice, snow to parts of southern Wisconsin this week. Here's Gary with our first warn forecast. A tricky one, Gary.
Yeah, let's try to break it down as simply as we can. Three things you need to know in the forecast. Tonight we'll see some snow, mainly from Madison northward, and any accumulating snow probably north of Dane County. A few inches up toward the Dells, areas south of Dane County, just some flurries or just some very light snow showers. And then we'll see some more snow from Wednesday into Thursday. Again, most of that will be north of Dane County. Dane County could see both snow and freezing rain, but definitely freezing rain favors areas south of Dane County for Wednesday into Wednesday night. There could be some significant ice accumulations there. And then it'll also be windy on top of that, so that could lead to blowing and drifting snow in the areas that see the heavier snow, and the potential for some power outages with ice accumulation on power lines and the winds bringing down the heavier power lines because of the ice for areas south of Madison. High-resolution Doppler radar right now, a band of light snow showers moving on through, not really amounting to very much, some flurries behind it, some of that not even reaching the ground. And 6-hour future track radar shows the bulk of the snow staying north of Dane County. Again, this is an area that could see a couple of inches of accumulation. But this is kind of what we're thinking. North of Dane County, we're going to see mainly snow. South of Dane County, mainly freezing rain. Madison and Dane County could see a snow or mix. If we go a little colder, we could see more snow. Some of the computer models are showing perhaps as much as 8 inches or more of snow in Dane County and Madison. To the south, there could be as much as 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of ice accumulation down toward the Illinois state line. If that freezing rain area moves northward, we could see a 1/2 inch of ice accumulation in Madison. So again, no matter where you are going to be affected by this winter storm. Let's start with future track and time this out. So the first batch of snow, like I say, mainly to the north of Madison for tonight. Temperatures staying just below freezing. A perfect setup for snow and freezing rain. Then as we get into Wednesday morning, notice how the precipitation breaks out pretty quickly. Probably starting out as snow, but watch as it changes to freezing rain from Madison southward. Again, this area could shift up or down by maybe a county or so. Those temperatures just below freezing. Farther to the north, a couple degrees colder, mainly snow. Again, that mix south of Dane County into Wednesday evening, north of Dane County, mainly snow. Madison, kind of right in the middle. Things start to break up a little bit as we head into midnight. We might see a little bit of a more spotty nature of the precipitation. Then into early Thursday morning, we could see another round of some snow showers or flurries, maybe some very light freezing drizzle. And then by noon, most of that pulls out. As far as the snowfall totals are concerned, this is just for tonight. Again, maybe an inch or two north of Dane County, maybe as much as 4 or 5 inches north of the Dells, but adding everything together, we could end up seeing a foot or more of snow north of Camp Douglas and Friendship, and then to the south, maybe less than an inch of snow south of Janesville. Madison, I'm thinking around 3 inches, but that could go up or down significantly depending on whether or not the ice moves farther north or the snow moves farther south. So right now we're thinking about a 1/4 inch of ice accumulation in Madison. Ice storm warnings south of Madison, winter storm warnings Madison northward from tomorrow into Thursday. Look for a low tonight of 28 with the snow mainly north of Madison, and then tomorrow snow, sleet, freezing rain, especially mixed south of Madison, snow to the north and a high of 32. First warning 7 to 10 day forecast, colder on Friday. Saturday and Sunday back up into the mid-30s, and then maybe a mix of precipitation Sunday night into Monday morning before that changes to rain Monday afternoon, and maybe a mix of rain and snow about Wednesday of next week. As we check out your first warn traffic, right now, things looking pretty good on the Beltline. Of course, it's not going to look like this tomorrow. Here's the view of the Beltline at Stoughton Road. Traffic moving steadily in both directions. Seeing a lot of green, just a bit of a slowdown eastbound on the Beltline, or westbound right around Fish Hatchery Road. Otherwise, about a 20-minute trip on the eastbound Beltline, 16 minutes on the westbound Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. 24 minutes from the Beltline to Janesville and I-3990. US 12 Middleton to Sauk City is a 16-minute trip. Downtown to Sun Prairie, East Washington Avenue, and US 151 takes you 21 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary. Coming up next, we'll sit down with UW-Madison professor Mike Wagner. We'll break down why this primary election today is so important. Stay with us.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
All you have to do is point. Yes!
1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Break up with your junk. Save $41 with the code BREAKUP41.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. Give a beautiful color to your projects with Minwax Wood Finish. Minwax is a penetrating stain that enhances all types of wood and dries fast. Minwax Wood Finish is $10.99 after rebate. Design your door your way with our door designer, or choose from our in-stock selection of Mastercraft doors. Mastercraft has the fastest delivery, so you get your door in approximately 7 days. All Mastercraft doors are 11% off.
Save big money at Menards.
This Wednesday, one day only, it's Hy-Vee's Seafood Sale. Get seasoned salmon portions, just $3.99. Shrimp skewers, just 99 cents. Hy-Vee Fish Market cooked shrimp, just $4.99. Sea Best tilapia fillets, just $3.99 a pound when you buy a 2-pound pack. Swai portions, 2 for just $4. And cornmeal breaded catfish nuggets for only $1.99 a pound when you buy a 10-pound pack. Wednesday only at Hy-Vee.
After violence turned Waukesha's Christmas parade into tragedy, Judge Jennifer Doro ensured justice was served, maintaining order, protecting the rights of victims. Her grace under fire won praise nationally. Now Judge Jennifer Doro is ready to serve on the Supreme Court. Wife, mother, prosecutor. Judge Doro's life's work is keeping Wisconsin families safe. It's no surprise Judge Doro is law enforcement's choice. The tested judicial leader, Judge Jennifer Doro for Supreme Court.
Right now, get an extra 25% off Slumberland's low prices during the final week of our huge President's Sale. Come see our special offers throughout the store. Plus, special financing is available for convenient monthly payments. And just for the final week, get an extra 25% off. Check out this gorgeous sectional, and it comes with a free ottoman. Plus so much more during the final week of our huge President's Sale at Slumberland Furniture, with an extra 25% off.
All you have to do is point.
Yes! 1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Break up with your junk. Save $41 with the code BREAKUP41.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. Of course, it's primary election day. You still have about 2.5 hours to cast your vote.
Joining us now is Mike Wagner. He's a professor at the UW-Madison School of Journalism and Mass Communication, and he'll be with us throughout the night tonight as the returns come in. Hi, Mike. Good to see you.
Mike. Good to see you.
Thanks for your help tonight. Let's talk a little bit about what's at stake tonight. Why is this race, the state Supreme Court race is what I'm talking about. That's the statewide race on the ballot. Why is it so consequential to policy?
It's the first time in more than a couple of decades where the liberals in Wisconsin have a chance to actually have a majority of judicial philosophies favoring liberals on the state Supreme Court. This would open up cases in abortion, redistricting, potentially relitigating Act 10. All kinds of issues could come to the state Supreme Court if one of the two liberal candidates gets through today and then is successful in April.
Is it unusual? I mean, we've got 4 candidates in this race, too, which makes it kind of different than what we've seen in these Supreme Court races in the past.
Yeah, the last time around, the primary was smaller. The person who won the primary didn't win the general election, which was Judge Kelly, who's now running again, one of the 2 conservatives. And so this is more packed, but it's, I think, an example of this is a race that's going to have a big consequence down the road, and so lots of people who are credible seekers of the office are interested.
This is supposed to be a nonpartisan primary, but it's nonpartisan really in name only. There's 2 conservative candidates and 2 liberal candidates, and a historic amount of spending in this race. Does that speak to the importance Wisconsin has in the national picture?
I think it does. Politics has gotten more contentious, both in terms of people's issue preferences and the way that they treat each other, especially in our state over the last decade and a half. And partisans have been an identity that means more to people than it used to. And so even though it's a nonpartisan race, it's a partisan race. Plus, there's so much outside money flowing in because of the potential consequences for issues like abortion.
They seem like they hide the nonpartisan stuff less now than they pretty much come out right out with their opinions in some of these candidates. Despite the spending, you think it's going to affect turnout, at least tonight? It doesn't seem like maybe it's moving much.
I think the number to look for is about 750,000 would be kind of a baseline turnout in a race like this. Above that suggests more engagement than normal. We might be able to crest that with the number of candidates and the number of ads they've had, but it's a low turnout race. A storm is coming. It's not on the normal calendar. All these things push against turnout.
If you live in Madison, there's a big primary tonight for Madison mayor and also some state Senate races. What else are we looking at tonight?
Yeah, the mayor's race for sure, and also District 8 in the state Senate, where a couple of state assembly members are seeking the Senate seat that Alberta Darling left, and including Janelle Brandtjen, who was basically kicked out of the Republican caucus, and so that's one to watch on the state Senate side.
All right, we'll talk to you throughout the evening. Mike, thanks a lot.
Thanks for your help tonight.
Good to talk to you. We'll be back with a final check of that important first warn forecast in just a moment.
Us. This isn't us, is it? Uh-huh. Let's take a break from our devices for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes. And let's see what we find.
Hey, bud.
US Cellular. Built for us.
Do you suffer from chronic
Want a flatter, tighter tummy? Then check out new Ab EX from Sono Bello.
Doctor, after my pregnancies, my body just never bounced back. I had this stomach overhang that made me really self-conscious.
It's not your fault. That stubborn fat and excess skin is extremely hard to get rid of with diet and exercise alone.
That's exactly why I went to Sono Bello. I really trust their team of experts, and I finally got the flat stomach I had always wanted.
Introducing Ab EX from Sono Bello. Remove fat and lose excess skin permanently in just one visit.
Ab EX is a great alternative to a tummy tuck. So that stomach overhang that you mentioned becomes a flat, tight tummy fast with minimal downtime.
Schedule your free, no obligation consultation now to learn more about Ab EX by Sono Bello. Call 1-800-848-9429 or go to sonobello.com.
I just got the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from US Cellular. With nightography, it can take selfies in low light. Click.
Amazing. Can it go back in the bag?
Yeah, it can go back in the bag.
Okay.
The new Samsung Galaxy S23, free for everyone from US Cellular.
Well, let's get back to Gary for one final check of the forecast.
King, some very light snow here at the station. There's the live view from the WISC-TV Skycam. It is just a very fine light snow here, not going to amount to very much, and that band is moving through Dane County right now. Areas farther to the north will see the snow probably hang on a little more persistently. You can see that on 6-hour future track radar. So they may see several inches of snow, especially from the Dells northward. However, visibilities right now here in Madison, 10 miles. It's Lone Rock's down to a half mile, and La Crosse at 3/4. That's where the snow is coming down heaviest. Temperatures are in the mid to upper 20s. Janesville right now right at freezing here in Dane County. Temperature 29 in Verona and 29 in Belleville.
We will have more updates in half-hour news for now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.